because it can be frustrating when people are always telling you like, you got to stick it out, you got to persevere, but you don't see any really examples of who's doing that. It's like, who actually does that and what does that look like? And it's difficult to conceptualize something that you know you're supposed to do, but you don't have an example, because oftentimes on social media we know that it can be a highlight reel. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Nikia and I'm back with another video. So today we are going to be doing makeup and a message. And today's topic is how to overcome the fear of starting over. This is such an important topic that a lot of people face, and it's actually near and dear to my heart. What prompted me to make this video is that I ran into a woman that I know that I frequently, see around, and she's usually very lively and upbeat. She started to share with me about how she helps her boyfriend run his businesses, but she doesn't feel like herself ever since she's been doing that, because she let her own businesses fall to the wayside. But it's been a few years of her, dedicating herself to his businesses, and now she feels like it's too late for her to start over. So this video is especially for women, because I feel like this is something that women struggle with throughout the different phases of their lives. And it really got me thinking about all the times I started over, started fresh, or starting new, and how scary that can be. So my goal here today is to share my story of starting over, and hopefully it can be an encouragement and a help to somebody. So if you're interested in this makeup and a message, just please stay tuned. Makeup and a message. Get into it. During this video, I probably won't talk through the makeup part much, because I really want to talk about this topic because it's important. Everything will, however, be linked in the description box, but the one thing that I will say is that I always start with placing my concealer first. It's the best concealer hack, because when you put your concealer on first and do the rest of your face, you let the concealer dry down and it blends out super smoothly. If y'all want a dedicated or more in detail like makeup tutorial, I can do that for you as well. So let's talk about change and the fear of starting over. We are now in October. It's the start of a new month, so this is very fitting. As many of you know, I will be launching my lifestyle brand this month, October Song. So this video is very fitting, and it ties into the message of what October Song represents. For those just joining, I've been sharing my story on this channel about how I went on a journey to reinvent myself, optimize my life, and overall just make changes to become the ultimate person that I want to be. And during that time, I took a year-long break off of social media. But it was super worth it, and I learned a lot. And if you are interested in taking a social media fast or break, I have videos up talking about the journey and giving tips on how you can do so. Although I would highly recommend it, and I always talk about the positives and how it changed my life, and it did, let's talk about the downsides. I think a lot of people have like FOMO, fear of missing out, and then even worse, like fear of being irrelevant. And that's fair. It could happen to you, because it happened to me. So let's talk about it. I have posted over 100 videos in the past 11 months on YouTube, a little over just under 120 videos. When I came back to YouTube, I had like just over 24,000 subscribers. If y'all are following along, y'all know I just hit 25K whoop, whoop, like 2 weeks ago. So what happened there? You posted 120 videos only to gain less than 1,000 subscribers. So if you just compare the numbers, what it would sound like and what it would appear is that I put in a lot of effort for a little bit of a return. But the thing is, when I came back to social media, my whole message changed, and thousands of people unsubscribed. Thousands of people subscribed to my channel. So there was like this balancing act that was happening, where for a time people were unsubscribing from my channel faster than I was getting subscribers. But you can't expect the old audience to receive a new message, and you can't take it personal either. I could have came back to YouTube doing and saying the same things that I once did, because the audience was there. They were asking for the content. People were telling me, hey, until you start doing XYZ, I'm unsubscribing. Why don't you make these kinds of videos anymore? How come you deleted, this content or that content from your channel? But the thing is, I had already decided the direction that I felt my life should take, and I took myself in a completely different direction. Therefore, I was comfortable in my decision to say, hey, Whoever comes, comes. Whoever goes, goes. And I'm not going to be afraid to make this change or tailor or contort who I am just so that people who previously accepted me would accept me, because maybe those are not the people that are meant to go on to this next chapter or the next phase of this journey. I had to put things into perspective. So those people found me and they subscribed based on, you know, the content that I was previously offering. That's the message that they wanted. That's the message that, you know, spoke to them, and that's what they liked me for. But what did I do? I kept posting videos. I kept showing up. And if you have a YouTube channel, or maybe you don't, YouTube has analytics, so you can see your analytics like video by video, like down to the minutes that people watch and everything. It's a very like sometimes difficult thing to go through, and it can really mess with your head when you see every single time you post a video, you would think like, oh, my audience is gonna grow. I post a video, this is a new opportunity for me to reach new people, and that was, you know, what was happening. But the way that YouTube shows the subscriber gain and loss is like obviously whichever one outweighs the other, that's what it shows. So it's like if you lose 100 subscribers on one video but you gain 3, it's gonna say 97 people just unsubscribed from your channel. And that can be like a lot and a hard pill to swallow when you just feel like, I know I put effort, I put time into posting this video. I'm trying to, you know, just be the best version of myself, find the people that find me, find the people that resonate with my content. And then you constantly have to look at all of these people like leaving your channel in droves. The way I had to look at it was like, I know that this is what I'm supposed to do. I know this is a message that I currently want to send. It's going to just have to be out with the old and with the new. And I had to just be confident enough to continue to show up, to continue to post these videos, you know, and just continue to tell myself it's going to even out. It's going to balance out, like I'm going to grow. I know people always say, you know, you got to stick it out. You got to persevere. You got to just keep going. But sometimes it's hard to do that, especially when you can physically see your setbacks in front of you. Now I share that story because it's probably the most relatable to the content that I've been sharing and I've been putting out lately, but that is by no means the only time that I have like started over in life. I actually feel like I've been starting over, you know, every year almost since I graduated from college. I started over when I graduated and I moved to Atlanta when I was 21. And I moved to a city where I didn't know anybody. I had to find a job. I had to find a home. I had to, you know, make my connections. I started over. Not 1 year later, I moved to a different city in Georgia and I took a job because it was my first corporate job. And so I had to start over again. New city, new people, new job. And, you know, I'm 21 years old. Going through that experience, I realized that that job was not for me, nor did I align with the city that I was living in. Again, I quit that job, had to start over. I moved back to Atlanta. I was, you know, living with new people. I wasn't, you know, in my own space. I had roommates. That was a big change and an adjustment for me, but it was what I felt like I needed to do to just get myself to the next level. Again, that situation went south. 2020, I decided that, you know, I was going to move out with them because a situation had occurred and I was going to just stand on my own and have my own place. But it was 2020. I didn't even have a job or even fully know if I was going to be able to, you know, support myself in the place. But the thing about it is I was just like taking a gamble because I knew that something better was there for me, and it's just like something within me. I just know that I'm not supposed to stay in a situation just because I'm scared that I won't be able to get to the next situation, because what my life has taught me is that I'll always get to the next situation. So then I didn't have a job. And then it's been, you know, over a year, maybe a year and a half since I've had this new job. So I made a change. Then I went from, you know, a different industry that I was even used to going into a completely new industry, like starting from the bottom, like starting over in my career. But I felt that was necessary for me at the time. And it is, you know, yielded great opportunities from me making that decision. One thing I've learned in my journey, and like of all the times I've started and restarted and, you know, started over, is that you honestly never truly start over. And the reason why you never fully start over is because you always have your experience to guide you to the next phase. Even if you don't know exactly what you're going to do or how you're going to do it, if you see what doesn't work for you, or if you see the patterns within your life that you don't want, that's just ultimately helping you to decide, like, you know, at least I don't know this, so I can check it off of the list. You can start figuring out, okay, what do I want? For example, with my YouTube channel, it's like I never really started from the bottom because, number one, I had a platform. I knew the basics of YouTube. I knew how to edit videos. I was already monetized. I know how to, you know, access the different resources to, you know, make thumbnails. I already had the information as I was coming back to the platform. I just had to, you know, put a new plan in place and strategize on how I was going to make this work for myself in the next phase of expressing myself on this platform, essentially. So I'm definitely grateful that I did take a break from social media because it helped me to establish boundaries. Because think about it, if you go from getting praise and you go from, like, you know, making content that your audience enjoys to coming back to people literally like unfollowing you or telling you they don't like your content anymore, like, let's be honest, people go to social media for validation. So if you're constantly being like invalidated for what it is that you're putting out, like, that's kind of a big thing to go through. So I did just want to be like transparent about that and just talk about how I got through it. So now I am happy to say that my channel is finally growing at a faster rate than it was before, and I feel like I'm finally starting to see like the progress in the growth of the work that I was putting in. But this is a year later that the results that I put in a year ago are finally starting to show themselves and pay off. And now my goal is 100K, so definitely hit the like and subscribe to my channel for more content like this. Starting over can be scary, and it might often feel like, who even does that? Which is why I'm very protective of my growth journey and the person that I've become. But I feel like so many people have sent me messages and telling me that this new content that I'm making is like inspiring them or helping them. So I did just want to go ahead and share this message, because it can be frustrating when people are always telling you like, you got to stick it out, you got to persevere, but you don't see any really examples of who's doing that. It's like, who actually does that and what does that look like? And it's difficult to conceptualize something that you know you're supposed to do, but you don't have an example, because oftentimes on social media we know that it can be a highlight reel. Every now and again, like, people might share their journey or share their, you know, story, you know, once it's all done and packaged into a neat little bow. And I get that, because a lot of us just, we want to be proud of ourselves and we want to be able to say, look, I succeeded, I did it, you know, here I am. But that's also why I'm creating my brand October Song around the concept of, you know, not being afraid to change, rewriting your own story, being able to trust in who you are and your decisions, because you're just comfortable with the idea of change, because change is just life. Life is full of October. So I'm launching a lifestyle brand called October Song. October represents change and transformation. Like, you know, look outside, the weather changes, the leaves change. Even if you don't have all 4 seasons where you are, like, it's getting darker. There's a physical representation of change happening in the world around us. And the thing about nature, it's always on time and it's going to change in its right time. Song is the oldest form of storytelling, and October Song is about not being afraid of your transformation and being able to find your own rhythm, write your own story, or sing your song. You see what I'm saying? It's really important to me that I share this message of my brand and y'all know the meaning of it when you're subscribing to the email list or purchasing the products and selling things. It's all good and everything, but like, I want people to know what it is that they're aligning with when they see the name October Song. When you see October, you think of me, you think of Kia, you think of change, you think of an actual representation of a person that gets it, that understands, you know, change is scary, that understands like it comes with challenges, that understands you might not have the support of other people around you, but at the end of the day, you're going to do what you need to do for your greatest good. And sometimes you just need the permission to do so. So whether or not you're to the point where you give yourself that permission, I just want my brand to be a place where people feel like they have the permission to start a new journey, to turn over a new leaf, to sing a new song, and to just, you know, flow in the way that their life is leading them to, so that they can ultimately be the happiest and best versions of themselves. So how do you overcome the fear of starting over? Number one, you want to ask yourself, am I really starting over, or is this just something that I'm telling myself to further give myself a reason or an excuse to stay where I am instead of becoming the person that I truly want to be or that I know I'm supposed to be? Our experiences are very important to learn from because they help us to express and compound our knowledge in a way that is ultimately going to benefit our lives in the long run. So you have to know that you truly never are starting over. Number two, if it seems like a lot for you, you know, I always say on this channel, it's important to be gentle with yourself. So don't try to force yourself into doing something that you're not ready to do, but just make a list of reasons of what could be the best outcome for you if you did decide to start over, if you did decide to take that first step, if you did decide to make that change. Think about like the type of person you will be, how your life will be different, how experiences, how money, how, you know, relationships, how all of those things will open up to you if you started over. A lot of times not being willing to start over or make changes can cost you way more in the long run than if you just take a step to make an initial change that'll give you momentum to have lasting results for the rest of your life. Think about who you could be if you decided to start over, and think about who you could be if you never decide to start over. Ooh. Number three, I said this before, I'll say it again, is to know your why. Now, I'm not even gonna lie, like I will be the first to admit that I felt like this phrase was so overused and it was so annoying. People are like, know your why, know your why. Because I do feel like there are things that people just throw out there and it just becomes like terminology in certain spaces that people just use as a talking point or that they cling to. And in some instances that can be the case if someone's like not willing to break it down, but I can see how if you always say this is one of your main points that you don't want to keep reiterating it. But when I tell you, when I finally understood why it was important to know your why, it was so transformational for me, like so transformational. So for anyone who's tired of hearing that, I see you, I acknowledge it, but trust me, like coming from a person, like you've heard my story, I've shared some of the details, like knowing your why is really important, and it does help you stick to the goals that you're setting for yourself and really just persevere during those times where you feel like you're being boxed in and you don't see a way out and you feel like your efforts aren't being, you know, recognized or noticed, or nothing that you can do is good. So just say to yourself, I want to be XYZ, and then say to yourself why. Depending on your situation, your why could be is because I want to be a better person, because I want to live a different lifestyle, because I want to be in love, because I can't take it anymore. There are so many whys that are available. So why, the why is very important. That could be another video topic. Why the why. So if you are a person that is having a pivotal, transformational, or what I like to call an October moment, hopefully this video can be an encouragement to you. And just remember that you're never truly starting over from scratch. Think about how not starting over can have way more significant impacts on your life than if you did choose to just take a step and at least attempt to start over. And then identify and revisit your why often, because I promise you that will be your guiding force when things get tough for you. All right, I am liking this. At the end, I like to go in with like a lighter powder and press it in just to give my eyes a little bit of a pop, because this is more of a natural look. And for the whole face, my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish, so good, can't go without it. This just makes your makeup so smooth, blends those lines, and it's amazing. Okay, y'all, I am going to put some curls in my hair and throw some lashes on and then come back for the final look. Okay, it's giving lashes and curls for the girls. So for lips, I'm gonna show y'all one of my favorite go-to nude combos. Child, I put my mirror away, so I'm gonna use my phone. But first you have to use the Wet n Wild pencil in Simmer Down Brown. It's just like a dark espresso like lip liner, but it's actually pretty darker than espresso. Now you can blend it in a little bit for this combo. I don't like it to do it too much because I want to kind of pop. Next, we're doing Butterscotch in the Anastasia cream lipstick. Y'all, this is so Smooth and buttery, just like it says. I've said this before, I'll say it again. A dark lip line with a light lipstick is giving baddie. Now, because of the creamy consistency, you could leave it like this, and this looks cute, but I'm gonna add a gloss. And this is just the Clear Gloss by MAC. And then if you want that really chiseled, sculpted look, you just gotta go back in a little bit, clean it up, bring back some dimension, and you're done. Is it cute? Do you like it? Is it giving? So thank y'all for sitting and chatting with me. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I hope the message resonated with someone and was just like an encouragement and an inspiration for you to make that change and not be afraid of starting over. I want to invite you all to sign up for my email list. The link will be down below in my bio for October songs. Sign up for our pre-launch emails to receive exclusive discounts and VIP offers. Thank y'all for tuning into this video. Definitely leave me a comment down below and tell me what you think, if this resonated with you. And I'll catch y'all in my next video. Bye.